What's going on, Jerome? So the 2024 NFL Draft is in the books, and adofo-mensah absolutely cooked, landing a beautiful, brings a tear to me eye, draft class, including 2 first-round picks in J.J. McCarthy, quarterback of the future, as well as Dallas Turner, talisman on the edge, and quite frankly, the best pass rusher in this class. But of course, after the draft is the after party, and after the party is the undrafted free agents. And of course, the Vikings have a long, beautiful history with undrafted free agents. John Randall, out of Texas A&I Kingsville, as well as the marvelous Marcus Sherrills, Adam Jerome, Ezekiel Thielen, as well as CJ Ham. That's right. It's awesome, man. Also, all 3 of those guys. So there's a difference between UDFAs, undrafted free agents, signed up right after the draft and usually get a little something. These 3 guys were undrafted free agent tryouts. So they get invited to rookie camp, no contract, no nothing. They impress, and then they get added to the 90-man. It's kind of awesome to see it, man. And, of course, last year, Ivan Pace Jr., who's terrorizing the National Football League, looked like one of the best off-balls in the game, rising up back on the streets, as well as just scratching the surface with him as a pass rusher. It's awesome. Plus him taking number 0 this year from Davenport. I love it. As well as Najee Thompson, quickly becoming one of the best special teamers in the league. As well as hopefully they can get some of Andre Carter II this year. That'd be great. But your Vikings have signed 17 UDFAs. Now, money details haven't been matriculating in quite yet. And some players, frankly, can get more in guaranteed money as an undrafted free agent than a 7th-round pick. And at a certain point in the draft, I would say probably about the mid-6th round, players would almost rather not be drafted, so they can choose where they're going to go. They can look at the room of their position, the 90-man rosters, also compare and contrast what they can get as a signing bonus. It's important. And a lot of teams, the Vikings included, do lay the groundwork with their 30 visits, top 30 visits, where they won't just visit with the top guys, even though the Vikings did do that with Dallas Turner, Kyrie Jackson, and also they had a private meeting and workout with J.J. McCarthy. But the Vikings, so for example, they had a 30 visit with Spencer Rowland. He probably just came home since he's from Burnsville. Taki Taimani was a 30 visit, as well as Gabriel Murphy from UCLA. But going through this list, so the guys that I'm really high on, I really love 6 of these dudes are in green. So we got name, school, height, weight, RAS, if applicable. There it goes. So first up is Devin Harper from Mercer. Actually, 2 teammates from Mercer. Go Bears. Those specific Bears. But Harper, so he's 5'9", $170. Didn't run the fastest 40 in the world, 4.59. So small school, small player, slow 40. But was initially at Gardner-Webb, moved to Mercer. 57, 5'49", and 2. Also absolutely dangerous as a punt and kick returner, so he could work his way in on teams. His teammate, though, Ty James, is someone I'm interested in. Now, 6 foot, $199, as well as he ran a 4.57 40. So, again, small school, dubious size, as well as sort of a slow 40, but he was uber productive. So 63 for 1,307 last year, plus he had 1,100 yards receiving and 13 touchdowns in 2022, 2-time FCS All-American. Now, he's not a physical freak, but he's a solid route runner, does have good hands, is a little bit of a body catcher, but could he be a decent possession receiver and play a little bit of special teams? Sure. Deshaun Jones of Maryland, 6'1", $186, 4.5, 140. Last year for the Terrapins, with his brother, 46 catches, 790 yards receiving, 4 touchdowns. Also has 19 career punt returns as well. Also, it's interesting to note, so the Vikings obviously didn't draft a running back, didn't even pick one up as a UDFA. So it's something to watch. Maybe they believe in Dwayne year 2, as well as King Kene, possibly. Behind Aaron Jones and Ty Chandler. It's possible. So tight end Trey Knox is an interesting case. So coming out of South Carolina, a target for Spencer Rattler, 6'3", 234. Not a great RAS, which is interesting because he was a converted wide receiver. So he's a wide receiver at Arkansas, and his numbers are stacked against tight ends, and they're still not very good. But in terms of, he is a solid inline blocker and could be a hybrid move type player. 4 along the offensive line, a couple of them interesting. So Matt Cindric coming out of Cal, 6'3", 295, 8.06 RAS, actually broke the 5-second mark in the 40-yard dash. So another undersized, uber cerebral, team first, uber athletic center. Seems like we have a type. But he was a 5-year starter at Cal, team captain. Now, he went undrafted because he had 2 season-ending injuries back-to-back. Got injured in game 1 this year. But what's interesting, so academic All-American at Cal, which is impressive, as well as after he got hurt, he returned to the sidelines and volunteered as an assistant coach. So again, super cerebral, team-first guy. Could be something interesting coming up. Jeremy Flax. So Jeremy Flax from Kentucky is... So he was a right tackle by trade, 2-year starter at right tackle for the Wildcats, including 1 year with Will Levis. But he's 6'5", he's 343 if he's an ounce, and he even lost weight. But a 167 RAS, he is a mountain, but cannot move, right? And he may move inside the guard, but we'll see. Doug Nestor is a name that I'm really intrigued by. So West Virginia, Mountain Mama, 6'7", 308. So he was a big-time recruit, 4 stars. He initially committed to Ohio State, then went to Virginia Tech, then eventually came home to West Virginia. So he was a right guard at Virginia, moved to right tackle at West Virginia. A good foot quickness for his size. I think that he's a guy that could have some staying power moving forward. Maybe a practice squad guy and then moving up. Spencer Rollin, so yes, local kid, pride of Burnsville, went to Apple Valley High School, went to Harvard, and then he transferred to UNC and was... So I'm not going to mince words. So he was one of the reasons why Drake May's protection had concerns this year. Right. So he was a 2-year starter at right tackle, protecting Drake May for the Tar Heels, but just wasn't there, man. Just wasn't. Lacks length, lacks anchor, 67 pressures, 9 sacks allowed over the last 2 years, which is not great. Yeah. Defensive side of the ball. So Taki Taimani. And so the Vikings, we'd said, hey, get yourself a 330-pound nose tackle. And the Vikings did get one, sort of, with Taki. So he's 6'1". He was originally listed at 330 at Oregon, but he slimmed down for the draft process. So he's 6'1", 309. Was originally at Washington for 4 years, then 2 years at Oregon. He's a 2-gapping nose tackle, decent anchor. Like we said, has slimmed down a bit, but I mean, is he a type of a no-muss, no-fuss type player? Sure. Tyler Manoa out of Arizona, 6'5", 299. So he was originally at UCLA for 5 years. Again, the Rona years and the transfer portal and the NIL money completely threw everything out of whack. Like, dudes are coming to the NFL like 23, 24, 25 years old. But Manoa coming out of Arizona, 28 tackles last year. Could be a bit of a hybrid 5-tech, 3-tech. Somewhere in there. And now the Vikings. So not only did they take Dallas Turner in the draft, but they really hammered down on edge rusher in the UDFA process. So Gabe Murphy from UCLA, 6'2", 247, 8.88 RAS, absolute physical freak, but undersized, right? So he's sort of like a diet version of Dallas Turner. In fact, he had a 39.5-inch vert, which was second to Dallas Turner in terms of edge rusher vertical leap. Was originally at North Texas, transferred to UCLA the last 2 seasons. He and Latu formed a fantastic pass rushing duo for the Bruins. 61 pressures, 8 sacks, 16 tackles for loss last year. So obviously they play different positions, but Gabe Murphy would be my vote. Well, Gabe Murphy and McLaughlin, the cornerback who we'll get to, they would be my vote for this year's Ivan Pace Jr. Just a UDFA that comes out of nowhere and really makes good. And the Vikings edge rushing room is looking damn good right now, man. Also on the edge is Owen Porter out of Marshall, 6'2", 250, 6.14 RAS, 14.5 sacks the last 2 years. Also put up 30 reps on the bench. Get down, man. That's right. Bo Richter coming out of Air Force. So second year in a row, the Vikings picking up an edge rusher out of a service academy. Last year, Andre Carr II out of Army. This year, Bo Richter. So again, another undersized. So the Vikings have gone completely into the 3-4, where you have these undersized, uber quick, lightning first step edge rushers that are going to line up extremely wide, like a wide 9 sort of set. But Richter, a bit of a 1-year wonder for the, what is Air Force? The kid, no, the Falcons. Yeah, nailed it. Freaking Falcons. But 6'1", 248, 9.91 RAS, absolute physical freak. Put up 10 sacks and 55 pressures last year. Also, 92.2 PFF pass rushing grade, which is top 3 in the country. So it's pretty good. And all heart, all hustle type player. So I think Murphy and Richter are super interesting moving forward. A couple off balls. KJ Cloyd from Miami, 6'1", 228, 7.33 RAS. A little bit undersized, but went from Louisville to Miami for his senior season. 44 tackles, 6.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks last year for the Canes. That's just the U being the U. Dallas Gant. So I love Dallas Gant in the process. A lot of mock drafts. I was picking up Dallas Gant right at the end of the draft. So Pride of Toledo, it's his hometown, 6'2", 228, 6.3 RAS. Was originally at Ohio State. Was a backup linebacker, played a lot of special teams. Transferred to Toledo the last 2 years, and my God. So 87 PFF grade last year, 117 tackles. In 2022, he had 116 tackles. Great in pursuit, great football instincts, has a ton of special teams experience from his time at Ohio State. So I think Dallas Gant, even though the Vikings are pretty well stacked at off-ball linebacker, find this dude a spot. I love it. Donovan Manuel from Florida International, 6'2", 230, 7.49 RAS. Originally Eastern Tennessee State, and then to FIU. Last year, 121 tackles, 15.5 tackles for loss. Again, another heat-seeking missile type linebacker, which is great. And lastly, Dwight McLaughlin. Out of Arkansas. So long, lengthy, 6'2", $185, 5.87 RAS. I didn't test the best, but in terms of ball hawking football instincts, he's got him. So now he was originally at LSU for 2 seasons, transferred to Arkansas, and last year, I don't know how he didn't get drafted. Like, honestly, I would have been more than fine if he was a 5th or 6th round pick. But 91.8 PFF coverage grade, 51.2 quarterback rating when thrown at, which is good. It's pretty damn good. 3 interceptions, 4 passes broken up. Only allowed 132 passing yards in coverage, which is just amazing, man. So this is going to be similar to last year, and I feel like Kwesi almost feels fine taking some chances with some of the guys in the draft, where you look at some picks where a lot of people weren't exactly thrilled. You look at Will Reichard, the kicker. You look at Walter Rouse. You look at Levi Drake Rodriguez. So I think that what Kwesi did, securing the rights of some guys that he didn't want to have bidding wars over as UDFAs, but also the fact that you did have Najee Thompson last year and Ivan Pace Jr. and hopefully Andre Carr II can be a little something. So maybe you feel fine going into the UDFA room, and it's just like with Kwesi condensing some of those picks. The Vikings currently only have 3 draft picks heading into 2025. Maybe he feels fine because he feels like there's confidence in the Vikings scouting staff. There's confidence in the decision-making in terms of attracting UDFAs and really hammering there, because there's a couple of guys who could be dudes in a couple of seasons. Like, I love Gabe Murphy. I think Doug Nestor is super interesting. I think Bo Richter, given some, he faces similar challenges as Andre Carr II, going from a service academy body to an NFL body. Dallas Gant, I wouldn't be shocked if he made the 53, and same thing with McLaughlin. I think he's going to really impress in that cornerback room. So I'm fired up. Not only am I super fired up about this draft class, I'm over the moon for this UDFA class, man. So there you go. But your thoughts are thoughts. Take a look at the Vikings 2024 UDFAs. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the bed mail. But until next time, Skull Production Value.